Hello, Hingham High School. Today is November 11th. It's Veterans Day, and we are here on school property when you guys are home on a day off. My name's Janice McPhillips,
John Belber. We're both from Holly Hill Farm in Cohasset.
and we are here today to talk to you about the compost system that you have behind your school. Cafeteria is right there. There are 12 compost bins that were given to the school. I'm not sure if you can see that, but by the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection gives these to schools for free to support school composting programs. So we've been coming to Hingham High School since 2007, I think.
Sure, at least.
Every year on America Recycles Day. But this composting program started in earnest in 2009, where students would take food scraps from the cafeteria, the compostable plates.
Here's a plate that must have been from last winter or spring, because we know you've not had food maybe served in the spring at the school because of the pandemic, or this fall for sure. But still, here, a paper plate remains.
So when making compost, we follow a recipe of adding food scraps from the cafeteria, plates, and some things that nature provides
For free.
for free, which are leaves. Here's the cafeteria at Hingham High School. Just so you're oriented as to where we are. There's the fields over there. And behind here is a parking area. That's a paper recycling bin. And a mixed single stream recycling bin and a trash bin. And over here is the compost area. There are 12 compost bins. Like I said, all of them were donated to the school by the state, and some of them are tucked back behind some trees and shrubs back there. Here's the compost recipe from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection. It's 3 parts by volume of dry ingredients that are rich in carbon, things like leaves and the compostable plates that Hingham High School uses, to 1 part by volume of things that are rich in nitrogen, like food scraps, but no meat or dairy, just things like apple cores and banana peels and things like that. The cafeteria staff also helps out by taking food scraps that they generate in the process of making lunch into buckets that would be brought out to the compost. You can also see the botany class and the botany club have been very busy. They took some plants from the garden that were growing, and the parts of the plants that are dead can go into a compost bin. Anything that used to be part of a living plant can be composted. An apple, a banana peel, an orange rind, anything like that, avocado pit, a dead part of a plant can be composted, can decompose and turn into humus.
So here is a finished pile.
Yes, let's take a closer look. Go ahead.
So a finished pile here. We're putting all those plates and leaves into bins for just carbon, and that mixes with the nitrogen, which is the food scraps. Here, by accident, some plastic spoon utensil and a wrapper for a fruit snack made it in here. These are not part of nature, as Ms. McPhillips said, and they're less likely, if not ever, to decompose.
So where do they belong?
They go into a trash can.
Trash.
I don't think the spoon's recyclable, unfortunately, so these go into trash. I'll put that in my pocket for later to go into the trash. But here's finished compost. Another piece of trash we will remove. But the finished compost is what happens after the nice mix of nitrogens and carbons, which are the food scraps and the leaves or the paper plates. And look at that finished material. I'm going to put it on a sifter right here because it has a good purpose and a good goal for this. So the sifter allows good finished compost to fall through. There's a couple stickers for the grocery clerk to indicate where the fruit came from. That's also made of plastic. So we can be quite detailed here to make sure we take care of that plastic in the proper place, and then good compost sifts through. What do we do with that compost here at Hingham High School? What do we do with it at South or Foster or East or PRS? We can use it in the garden. So the material that's not decomposed yet remains in the sifter. That can go back into the pile. And then down below, some eggshells, a seed perhaps, but this is the finished compost, the rich organic matter that will help feed the garden. So there's lots of planting opportunities to go on in the courtyard with the greenhouse and the garden beds out there. And this compost and all of its nutrients and all of its valuable fertilizer, a natural fertilizer, can go into the garden to rejuvenate and help that soil to grow new plants. Taking systems from our food waste and our work and from nature, putting it back into a cycle system where compost is made.
And because it's America Recycles Day, here's one more thing I want to point out to you.
Sure.
We've taken apple cores, banana peels, etc., plates from lunch, and we have recycled them very locally, right here, out behind the school, into this usable product that has value. There's been times in the past when the green team has sold compost at the farmer's market. I don't think there's any plans for that happening this year, but maybe in the spring of 2021, maybe next year, because this stuff is valuable. We would sell a bag. We take 5-gallon buckets and measure it and put it into a bag and sell it for $10, I think.
That's terrific. A good fundraiser that might
Right.
help with more green causes and celebrations of making compost.
Here's a brief history of the composting program at Hingham High School and America Recycles Day. Some environmental science students built the first compost bins at the high school out of wood in 2009. But there wasn't a formal collection system in place to bring food waste from lunch out to the compost area until the first America Recycles Day in 2011. We got several of those black composting bins from the Mass Department of Environmental Protection, and helpful custodian Matt Conway set up 4 recycling stations around the cafeteria. You students who've been at the high school since before the pandemic will remember this, because this system for separating trash from compost, paper bags, and recyclables and compostable paper plates is still in use at Hingham High School. The Slash the Trash program has been going on for many years now as well. When Rick Swanson was the assistant principal, he worked with sports teams and clubs like the Drama Club to create a fun and competitive system for doing a great job of separating out recyclables like paper bags, plastic bottles, and compostable plates and fruit and vegetable waste. It's been a while since that program was run at lunch, but hopefully some of you remember that teams and clubs were given penalty points when a recyclable item was found in the trash. The team with the fewest penalty points would win a pizza party funded by Crow Point Pizza. But everyone won by learning about the importance of separating recyclables from true trash. The cafeteria started using compostable plates in 2012, and rather than putting them into the trash, some are put into the compost bins behind the school as a carbon source for the compost, but most of them are bagged up and taken to the Hingham transfer station where they are composted. We've made a lot of great compost over the years at Hingham High School, and for many years we would sift compost and take many wheelbarrows of compost into the courtyard and add it to the garden beds and plant garlic there. I bet some of you remember planting garlic in your school garden in elementary school. Other years, we have sifted compost from the compost piles and bagged it up and sold it at the farmer's market, as you can see here. All of these great recycling and composting efforts have earned Hingham High School a lot of attention over the years. The school has earned a number of awards and recognitions, including the Best School Recycler Award. It also helped the school achieve green ribbon status from the United States Department of Education. So even though we can no longer compost food waste from lunch at Hingham High School right now during the pandemic, and we can't celebrate America Recycles Day in the way we have in the past, let's not forget about composting. You can compost at home, and we can go back to composting at Hingham High School once life at school returns back to normal. So making compost is really, like I said, it's an easy recipe to follow. The Mass DEP has a lot of great resources on their website to teach people how to make compost, but we teach people how to make compost at Holly Hill Farm.
That's right.
And in fact,
I'm going to lead a compost workshop, 2 sessions, small groups, 12 people or fewer, at the farm this Saturday, November 14th, a day before America Recycles Day, teaching people about backyard compost and how they could do that at home. So congratulations, Hingham High School. You're participating by having this material here. If you're able to come rake and add leaves for our carbon source, that's a very important part of making compost.
So the workshop at the farm, they can sign up at www.hollyhillfarm.org. There's also going to be another Zoom workshop, not in person like the one at the farm, that I'm going to present in early December through Hingham Net Zero.
Great.
We are very hopeful that people in town, whether you are a Green Team member or not, people will do this at home. You can get bins like this, set them up in your backyard, or you can build a pallet bay composting system, or fancier than that. We've got lots of resources that we're willing to share with you because we really want people to do this. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates that about 1/3 of our trash is compostable food scraps. That's a lot of food that we're sending to the waste to energy plant to be burned. And why do that when you can recycle into a valuable resource like this? You don't even have to have a vegetable garden to use this. If you have a tree in your yard, a tree would love some of this compost. If you have a rose bush in your yard, even the grass in your yard would love a top dress of compost. So don't think of it as only something that you have to do if you are growing vegetables at home. Anybody can use compost, or you can give it away to somebody who would appreciate it.
Fantastic resource. Good job, Hingham High School.
So happy America Recycles Day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if you need to reach out to us, you can find us at hollyhillfarm.org.